Upbeat, slightly chaotic fantasy music starts and fades into the background. Alright, buckle up, you fiends and phantoms. Because the underworld is about to get absolutely wild. Forget everything you thought you knew about a peaceful afterlife. Because the annual Styx river race is on. And it's turning into a frothy, fiery frenzy of forbidden lust and absolute fiasco. So picture this. The starting line is packed. The air smells like sulfur, brimstone, and... is that burnt sugar? Anyway, the crowd is going insane. And there, on the grandstand, is the king of hell himself, Asmodeus. He's all regal, waving his claws at his adoring demonic subjects. When his eyes lock onto something that makes his blood boil, it's his daughter, the princess of perdition, looking all starry-eyed at Noctis. Now, Ty isn't exactly your typical demon. He's a bit of an underdog, a scar-snarling, fury-fueled racer with more guts than sense. Asmodeus is not having it. He starts storming down from his throne, ready to turn Ty into a permanent part of the pavement. The crowd gasps. It looks like it's over for our hero before the race even begins. But just as Asmodeus is about to lay down some royal wrath, a golden barge, shimmering with an otherworldly glow, pulls up to the dock. And who steps out, looking as regal and commanding as ever? None other than Cleopatra. Yes, the Cleopatra. She winks at Ty, pulls him onto her barge, and with a flick of her wrist, they're off, leaving a fuming Asmodeus in their wake. Ty, the fury-fueled racer, has just been saved by the Queen of the Nile. Sound of a starting horn, roaring water, and screaming souls, and the race begins. The teams launch their vessels into the soul-screaming river. The water itself is wailing, thrashing against the banks. Up ahead, leading the pack, is Anubis, the Egyptian god of the dead. His team is a wheel-oiled machine, paddling in perfect, intimidating sync. Our boy Ty and his crew are struggling to keep up. Their ramshackle raft getting tossed around like a toy. And then there are the Greeks, led by Poseidon himself. Looking way too confident for his own good. But wait, what's this? From the shadows of a rocky outcrop, another competitor makes her move. It's Lilith, the first demon, the mother of nightmares. She raises a blowgun to her lips. *theft. A tiny dart flies through the air and hits the Greek's raft. It's not a poison dart. It's a deflation dart. The Greek raft, once a proud vessel, starts hissing and sinking, sending Poseidon and his crew flailing into the river amidst the screaming souls. Lilith just smirks and paddles on. One team down. The remaining racers are now approaching the most feared obstacle on the course, the Falls of Torment. Ty's team, however, goes over the edge with a collective scream, their raft spiraling out of control. It's a miracle they don't splinter into a million pieces on the rocks below. They land hard, battered but still in the race, though they've lost precious time. But the river isn't done with them yet. As they round the next bend, the water starts to swirl. They're being pulled into the whirlpool of despair. A shimmering, spectral figure rises from the center of the vortex. It's a banshee. She opens her mouth and lets out a soul-shattering shriek that whips the wind into a hurricane. The river, already raging, becomes a liquid monster. Rain lashes down, waves crash over the rafts. And it's pure, unadulterated chaos. This is where it gets interesting. While everyone is fighting for their lives, Asmodeus's daughter, still on Ty's raft, sees an opportunity. She catches Poseidon's eye. The sea god is still sputtering in the water after his raft sank. She gives him a look, a little whisper on the wind, a promise of, well, let's just say she gets in his head. She plays on his pride, his power. Distracted, mesmerized, Poseidon loses focus on the race, and instead tries to show off, creating a massive, unnecessary wave that backfires spectacularly. The wave catches the rest of his waterlogged Greek team and shoves them straight into the gaping, toothy cavern known as the Maw of Lost Souls. Game over for the Greeks. Through the hurricane, through the whirlpool, only two teams remain, Anubis and Team Hell, led by Noctis. With the Greeks out of the way and Anubis momentarily slowed by the Banshee's storm, Ty, Cleopatra, and the princess make their final push. They paddle with everything they have left, fueled by adrenaline and defiance. Neck and neck, they surge towards the finish line. In a final, desperate burst of speed, Ty's raft crosses the line just a fraction of a second ahead of Anubis. They've done it. Against all odds, the underdog has won. Team Hell wins the Styx Cup. The crowd of demons erupts. Asmodeus is watching from the finish line, his face a perfect storm of fury and, is that a flicker of grudging respect? Noctis, the fury who shouldn't have even been there, is now a champion of hell, with a queen and a princess by his side. And you can bet next year's race is going to be even crazier.